16 Mile Creek here in Oakville, halfway between Toronto and Hamilton, and we are here for the PointsBet Invitational. A season of champions kicks off today. 16 of the best men's teams. Canadian champions again, and 5 for Guju. And 16 of the best women's teams. And it is a fab 4 in a row for Team Canada. And all gather at 16 Mile Sports Complex in Oakville, battling for some big bucks. The brackets are complete. Win a round and you win some cold hard cash. The 2023 PointsBet Invitational next. And it is a jewel when it comes to the city of Oakville, this athletic complex, 16 Mile. There are 4 arenas, one of Olympic size with 1,500 seats, and that's where we will be spending our time till Sunday, as it's so nice on this Wednesday afternoon to once again say hello, Canada, and welcome back. And the family's all here. Kathy's here, Russ is here, our wonderful crew, as we get ready now for this PointsBet Invitational. Good summer?
Great summer. Came here a couple of times with the kids for some Jays games. Went to visit you. You weren't home. And Gaetan got engaged.
And I knew you were coming. And you, Grandpa.
Grandpa, yeah, 2 in the family, Howard family now. Chloe has a younger brother, Charlie, and they've got a mixed team going.
All starts, of course, our season of champions here in Oakville with the PointsBet Invitation. We'll look at the women's field today, this afternoon, and tomorrow afternoon. Here they are, 16 teams, number 1 seed by points, Carrie Anderson, 4-time Canadian champion, all the way through Josie Zimmerman, who is a reigning Canadian college champion. So you divide the field into 2 halves. We're going to look at the left side now, and it's easy to remember. You win, you move on, you play for more money. You win 4 games between now and Sunday, you win $50,000. In our feature, we're going to look at Caitlin Laws, who's a 2-time Olympic gold medal winner. She goes against Abby Marks, but this Laws team has gone through some changes of their own, haven't they?
Well, they certainly have. Caitlin says even though it's their second year, it feels like the first. They had 4 different players join the team last year because 3 of them gave birth. That's a bit of a distraction, so they're starting a little slower.
So let's meet this team now of Caitlin Laws that hails from the Fort Rouge Curling Club, skipped by Caitlin Laws and backed up by Kristen McCush, Jocelyn Peterman, and Selena Negevin. Abby Marks has a terrific resume. Junior champion, University of Alberta Pandas. She is a good up-and-coming team.
They're the real deal, they are. There's not as many young teams coming up as usual, but this is for a real one to keep your eyes on. Yes, seated that low against the great Caitlin Laws, they have to be huge underdogs. But try to explain that to Carrie Anderson. 2 weeks ago, Marks knocked Carrie Anderson off. They could do it again.
So let's meet this team, brought to you by Home Hardware. Here's how. They hail from the Crestwood Curling Club, skipped by Abby Marks, with Juliana McKenzie, Kim Bonneau, and Alyssa Crow at 3rd. So that is our matchup when we come back. It is Marks against Laws to get a brand new season of champions underway here in Oakville.
The 2023 PointsBet Invitational is brought to you in part by PointsBet, the official sports gaming partner of Curling Canada, by BKT Tires, growing together, by Montana's Barbecue and Bar, Canada's home for barbecue, and by New Holland, proud sponsor of Curling Canada.
And so it is Laws against Marks. We'll see half the women's field today, the other half of the 16 tomorrow afternoon, the men tonight and tomorrow evening. As we take a look at the odds tracker brought to you by PointsBet, the official sports gaming partner of Curling Canada. Caitlin Law is the favorite against Marks. Grandy from BC, last year's rep. Kathy against Holly Duncan, two-time Ontario rep at the Scotties.
Well, Clancy Grandy putting a lot of time into this game, qualifying last weekend, so coming off a pretty good performance.
As you might expect, Carrie Anderson, number one on the ranking system, heavy favorite against Zimmerman.
And it's not only the numbers that make her a heavy favorite, but you're dealing with a four-time Canadian champion and somebody relatively new to the sport, a learning experience. It will be tough.
And Kayla Skerlick out of Calgary, last year's Alberta rep against Danielle Inglis out of the Ottawa Hunt.
Well, Kayla went 4-4 at the Scotties last year, but we saw a lot of potential in her team. But for Danielle, they got out of the gate early, won a spiel, and qualified last weekend. That gives her a bit of an edge, maybe.
Caitlin Laws will play the Red Stones. Marks is playing the yellow, and we're ready to get it underway. And it was Marks who won the draw to the button. So if you're looking for that little early advantage, anything you can, it's advantage to Abby Marks.
Oh, in so many ways. Vic, obviously last rock advantage against a great team like Laws if something goes wrong in this end. But the confidence for this young team, both their rocks, one was on the side of the button, one was right on the pin. Really good start for Marks.
Wait's great. Just to your rim. Really nice. Other girl, great throw.
Nice. You got it, Jay. Just like draw to the button. Yep. God, nice for her to make a shot after that distraction at the start. Yeah, you got it.
Be interesting to see the approach, I think, Kathy, that Abby takes to this game. And whether she's going to be aggressive, because she thinks that Laws will be the aggressive one.
Well, she did definitely say that she felt that Caitlin would do that, but she also was very clear that they have never looked at their opponent. They try to really focus on rocks and their own, and we hear that all the time. But I do think that this Marks team is going to have to apply pressure early because this Caitlin Laws team is not going to miss wide open shots.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at the keys to the game, and we'll start with Caitlin Laws.
Well, Laws in order for the first time in a long time. 3 babies last season for this great team. They're different lineup every single week. They're finally back in their right order. They will get better and better as the season goes along. And wisdom will be the key for Caitlin's team. They've got the advantage here. It's the bright lights for the young Marks team. Go at them before they figure it out.
Going to wrap it around. They did. May have touched it just a little bit. A little wick on the way by, but they'll get in behind and grab the top of the 12. All right, the keys now for Abby Marks out of Edmonton.
Well, full marks for Marks because we mentioned at the top of the show they knocked off Anderson. They beat Skerlick in the same spiel. So the confidence level should be very high for this young team, which is quite unusual. And that has to help them going down the stretch here and find the forefoot. I should have said find the button because that's what they did in practice. And if they can continue to do that, because the ice is going to be tricky for draw weight because of the frost, that will be their key.
Keys to the game brought to you by Cashmere Bathroom Tissue. Nothing feels like cashmere. So lots to hide behind here if Marks can get there. And she'll just nibble at the top edge of the 8.
10.
Mike Merkler, yes, Dave's son, is the head tech here, and he only had 3 days to get this ice in. It's been so warm outside. There's a little bit of humidity in here, and it's hard to control with that much heat. So I suspect going along here, Vic, there'll be some different paths that could knock off some of these teams, and they don't brush it properly. They can really get fooled.
I think the other thing, Russ, is that we are going to see conditions change throughout this game. This morning when the teams practiced, very, very frosty. The weight was fine, but it was difficult to brush. Even just from the pregame to what I'm watching on the other 3 sheets, the conditions are already getting better. So Mike's being able to do things, and as you said, he didn't have very much time. The ice is only going to get better.
Yeah, no kidding. Try to put ice in 3 days with all the logos and the amount of water, the amount of time it takes to freeze, especially with the heat outside. And the speed, Kath, and the draw to the button was 15.5, which is
can't ask for more than that.
Unbelievable.
So unable to get the hit and maybe the roll behind. Mike Merklinger following in the slider of his father, and now picks up the peddling can. And great mentor in his father, is one of the top ice makers in our country for so many years.
max line. If you can wait. Max line. Coming off a little.
That Scotty's win came with Chelsea Carey back in 2016 for Jocelyn Peterman,
Keep going,
who had son Luke 5 months ago.
Good sweep.
Talked to Mike quite a bit before the opening draw, and he had just textured sanded the rocks before. So normally that makes the rocks a little slower, a little sharper, a little more curl, but that didn't snap as much as some of the practice rocks. So have to keep an eye on it. Still lots of curl. They just taking a hair too much ice in this outturn side.
10-5. Curl.
Hard curl, hard. Hard curl, Zach. Okay. Okay. 10-4. Just easy. Yeah. In that spot, it just runs. Take a little left, too. Sorry? You probably take a little left.
That can be, I'm not suggesting it is, but that can be the difference between a veteran team and a great young team like we have with Team Marks here. It's just that ice reading. Can you get the broom in the right spot quicker than the other skip? The outturn come around for Team Laws did not finish. So there's a very good chance that last takeout wasn't going to do much either. It's way too much ice there.
And to layer on top of that, Russ, there's also the experience with arena ice that Caitlin brings, and not having had that many opportunities for Abby.
Yeah, good point, Kath. It's amazing how you can get 5 feet of curl on a draw and about 3 inches on a hit. It just doesn't compute.
It's all in the family for this team with Connor Negevin, Selena's husband, here coaching, and Hudson was born 6 months ago.
15-6. Yeah.
And Hudson is finally sleeping. For the first 3 months, he did not sleep very well. He had some stomach issues, and so they have been through a lot with their little guy, but Connor says he's now sleeping, which makes for very happy parents.
Some good speed on this peel here.
Hard. Roll it.
You'll remember that because of COVID and the cancellation of events around the world, they had a qualifier for the world representative in the juniors, and so this team and Crow and Bonneau, they were part of the team that was a runner-up. They lost to Northern Ontario and Isabelle Ladouceur.
Top 4. Close line, John.
Coming off already.
Top 4. Line's great. Still sliding nice shot. Yep.
It's not heavy.
Great chance here, but you could sneak it around. You got 1 in behind, 2 in behind, and they'll crash, and they've just opened up the door to get to the 4-foot in the button. So as mentioned, we have 16 men, 16 women. Yes, you have to play minimum of 8, 2 timeouts, 1 per half. There's the difference. 19 minutes to play your first, 19 to play your second. Win 4 games, 50,000, and that 19 minutes per. Yeah, okay, you think about it, 38 minutes overall, but teams would, Kathy, try to conserve. All right, I'm just going to bank some time, but you can't carry over your time, so you make the most of it when you have it. And as we've often said, the best time in a game is the first 5, so go hard right out of the gate.
It's a definitely different think for a lot of the teams who like to sometimes go into games slower and will really risk. If you think about some of the events that we've watched over the last couple of weeks on streaming, you see teams that run it up and down for the first 4 and then go hard. Well, there's no advantage to doing that here because that 19 doesn't carry over. You get 2 one-minute timeouts. That doesn't carry over if you don't use it. So what the rule is saying is use all 10 ends, make it play.
Interesting there. That is, I think, by my count, the 3rd for sure, maybe even the 4th little chip.
Yeah.
They're not being able, either the stones are catching them, the ice is catching them, but they had a great chance to get through and missed it.
And missed on the wide side again. And there's, if you're a coach and you can't be out there throwing rocks, you've got to chart all this stuff, and there's always a pattern. And so far for this young team, it's wide, wide, and wide. Just not quite the finished hog line in they're expecting. Now that might have been a foot or two heavy, which make a difference, but big trouble here now. They've got a couple of yellow raises, but that's not the shot you want to make against 3 or 4 here. Huge opportunity here for Caitlin.
And so Caitlin Laws, belated congratulations to her and her husband Stefan. They had Mila 9 months ago. As you already mentioned, they had 4 different players filling in last season. And to your point, Kathy, she said, this is our second year, but really our first. And here's the angle raise, and they'll sit 3, but without last rock.
Good throw. We really came off. Ground to a halt. Yeah, good throw.
You heard them say ground to a halt. That just hit a fresh spot that either hasn't been played or it's a little bit of frost out there.
I threw 13 in practice and it was T-line. So I was thinking, like, I want to make sure to keep it high anyways.
So I've heard, Kathy, 13, as Caitlin just mentioned. I've heard 15-6. So
that's a huge difference.
No kidding. What a big shot this is. You tap this into a good spot, you might get your 2. If you don't, you could be down 3 or 4.
It's a few feet more than your draw button. Yeah. Let's make it. Yeah, let's make it.
Now, nothing's curled enough here, either side, for this young team. That's about 7 inches less than draw to the button, so that should be close.
Line's good.
Hard line.
Clean.
Weight's good.
Yeah.
Hard line. Weight's good. Hard line.
Whoa. Whoa. Back 8. Clean. Yep. Hard line. Hard line. Hard.
And one more time, and they've probably reached a fistful
Really good weight. Yeah.
of
Weight was
little
really good.
rubs and crashes.
Hold us off. Just gotta believe the finish.
So that really moved.
It did at the very end.
Big at the end.
I got 3-9. That's my bad. I should have had them stay on it instead of falling them off.
If your team marks, how do you get in there? How do you double raise here? You've got nothing on the left-hand side. You've got this tap that's going to be taken away. That tap's really dangerous. To go this wide would be almost impossible. They're in big trouble here.
I'd rather be high than like.
Sounds good.
This path should be closer
Yeah.
in speed.
Yeah.
Similar to Selena's ice.
Okay.
Caitlin just threw it too. Like, she'll know the spot. There's a
Tight.
pretty easy guard.
Pretty tight.
Okay, well then.
Where do you think? 12. We're tapping.
Uh-oh.
Top 8. It's coming off. No, we're just tight.
Don't line these up.
Tapping a touch.
Do you want to curl it a little?
Curl.
And just gets across the nose. So it'll be Abby Marks facing 3 with her last.
Lining them up was the dangerous thing, and you heard
Yeah.
Team Laws trying to carve it over at the last second. Got a little bit of curl, but there's still an angle here to tap this. Even if you tap it heavy and kick off of that one, it's a much easier shot than if that red one had curled another inch or 2. If they just carved it a little sooner down the sheet, there'd almost be nothing here for Team Marks.
That outside yellow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like back 12.
I was gonna say probably a little bit more than your last one.
Yeah.
Your last one was probably back 4 ways.
That
Yeah.
looked like min. Probably looks like min.
I thought it looked pretty close.
I don't mind a hair more.
I was gonna say yeah.
You have to hit it off now. So.
Yeah.
They've
Okay.
played a lot. They said this is their 5th event of this young season already. Just trying to get in the reps.
Right. Kathy, are they raising the wide one or that double raise that Caitlin just lined up? Because I think it's too much ice for the double raise.
I thought it was the double raise.
Back 12.
Because she has to throw it harder, and harder means less curl.
Whoa. It's good.
Back 12.
Final stone, Abby Marks facing 3.
You gotta curl. Gotta curl.
And tap, tap, crash, and there they are. 3 as Laws will pick up the steal here in this first.
Sorry.
It's our opening day of the PointsBet Invitational from here at 16 Mile Sports Complex in Oakville. 8 teams on the ice now as we play the first half of the women's field, and our featured game, Caitlin Laws taking advantage of Abby Marks and stealing 3. And I'm surprised when you put the draw on the button to get the last rock, you would think you'd have your draw weight down.
Yeah, and it was, the speed was pretty good actually, so I wouldn't blame it on the draw weight, but it was just they could not get the broom in that right spot. Everything was wide except Abby's first one, and Abby's first one was into a new path, not where they had warmed it up for the draw of the button. And those are the things you learn. It's trial and error. You know, Caitlin would have gone through it at that age too, and I think that's the difference, because you've got 8 great players out here, but Caitlin did a much better job of putting the broom in the right spot.
So, Kathy, could she have tried to blow things up earlier?
Oh, sure. I mean, hindsight's always second thought, but, you know, when you have the hammer, it's something that you want to make sure that you have access to the forefoot and not having to raise a stone to do it. And so maybe they risked a little bit too much. But I was wondering, Russ, I've been timing stones on the other sheets, and I'm getting an average of 14.7 hog to hog. And we heard them talking about 13. I'm wondering if one of the ways that they communicate the raise is that you'd have to throw the feel of a 13 hog to hog to make the raise, not that the draw weight was that. Do you think that's possible?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what fooled them also is that the double raise, there was such an angle. It was locked on at less than half a rock, so it takes quite a bit of energy to get those 2 rocks moving to the desired distance. So I think it's like golf. She just threw it through the break, knowing she had that double raise on an angle. She just threw it a hair hard, and it was not going to curl in that spot.
Just wait as long as you can. It's really tight. We're to it.
I found, Kathy, once you got into arena ice with textured rocks, the difference in speed, the difference at the far end with line is just unbelievable. Like you're hair heavy on draw weight or hair heavy in a hack weighter, there's totally different line. Yeah.
Intern. You got it. Right up.
Clancy, Grandy with an early lead, a steal of 1. I think Zimmerman may be thankful to get out of that with just a single given up, as she plays the #1 team in our country, and a blank between Skurlik and Inglis.
Well, Grandy made a peach on her first one, was facing 2 buried in the forefoot, ran a guard back that was in her own and made everything move, leaving 1, and then had the chance to draw for 2 on her second and just wrecked on a guard with an under curl. That seems to be the theme so far, Vic.
Really good result there. Yeah. Not bad.
Yeah, got it opened up, but still leaves the Laws team sitting the 2.
Yep. Roll it.
Watch out, and they'll stuff it, and they'll leave that stone out in front, and so that stone, second shot, edge of the 8, is partially covered.
Is it ever? Wonderful opportunity out of nowhere. You just sit in the hack. If you're Jocelyn, you just don't ever see that happening, but it did, and now a chance to sink another one here.
Kathy, the danger to my way of thinking would be if you're Abby Marks, maybe trying to get it back all at once or maybe too quickly. And would you agree with me? Is it, if it presents itself, sure, you're going to take it, but are you better here to say, all right, let's go for a good single, maybe a deuce?
I'm not going to agree with you. Why would I start this year any different than I ended last? No, I feel like that corner guard is high enough up, and I think that they feel they've got some tolerance with it. This is about securing your single point and then working to get the second, but drawing to the other side is also a great call. I just think that they're playing through their nervousness, if you will, and I think that was a more comfortable call.
You like that?
Yeah, we've all been there. You're on this big stage or national television. You're playing an Olympic gold medalist, and you give up the 3. It's a bit of a shock to the system.
Is it lined up to get them all, or is she just going to try to run it back and get one?
I think you could get them all, but you risk the danger of leaving a couple of corner guards. You want to get the one in the ring somehow.
Kristen McCush. Bang, 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 bang. And there you go. There are those two corners. And that rock on the edge of the 8 is definitely undercover now, too.
Half an inch wider, half an inch narrow. The double peel's made, and you might even get the one in the rings.
Hard to do that. Good throw. Yeah.
Extremely good chance for 3 here, Vic. They know this shot. They just threw it the exact line. They're just 3 feet light. Fresh path. Nobody threw to the corners in practice. So probably throw the exact same weight that was thrown on the previous one. It'll be that much quicker.
Back 8. Little tight. Back 8. Go. Wide tight. Back 12. Back 12. We need a rub. Back 12.
Okay, yeah, then.
Yes.
Yeah, roll it off, roll it off.
Well, they get that rub.
Easy.
And in that rub, they've chipped that stone out into the open.
What? 3-5. Yeah.
Little mistake on the judgment. They knew it was heavy. They had to brush that, hit it thinner, and get the open rock that Caitlin's going to go for behind the other yellow. Now there's a chance to roll buried or maybe even make the yellow double.
Good sweep. A little solid, yeah. Good throw.
Medium. I think it hit and roll. Sorry, are we going on top?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's your choice.
Okay, you got it.
Do you want to roll over on top of that stone back 8, or do you want to roll under?
I think I'm 50-50 in that. I'd probably try to roll under. I'm down 3. It's a chance to get over there. But if you group the yellows and they're wide open, that's a bad call. This is a safer call to sit the 2. There's still a chance to score 3.
Kathy?
I 100% agree to go around.
So you agree with him. You agree with Russ.
Yeah, but you didn't open your door to me and the kids this summer, and so that's what happens.
So did you hear me yell everybody down? Doing the army crawl across the carpet.
Keep low, Marianne. Keep low.
Don't let her see us.
What you can't do when you're rolling there is roll out.
You can just go in like a 9.
Okay.
Keep my weight up.
I mean, listen, through the
I'll
first
make sure.
Okay.
Are you
What,
wanting to
8?
see a little plow here or just a heavy?
14 rocks. It's been execution from us.
Yeah, it has. It just has. Yeah.
It should track for the first little bit.
Yeah.
And again, other than Abby's first draw that was in a fresh path, everything's been wide, including that last rollout. Look how tight the broom is here. Caitlin's expecting this to curl an inch, and it's actually fresh pebble out here.
No.
And it comes up just enough and will sit right there. So sitting 2 again without last rock. So we mentioned this team and the 3. Laws, Negevin, Peterman, all with babies. Brianne Harris, of course, Sarah Wilkes, and Rachel Holman off that Ontario team. And Carly Everest, who plays with the black team down in Nova Scotia.
Megan
Great
got
weight.
it back.
Sorry?
Harrison got it back,
Yeah.
but it finished up at the end. It was off.
Yeah.
Husband Connor has mentioned coaching the team, and when Kathy and I were down there, I said, "Oh goodness, have to watch what you say now." He says, "This is
back 4. Line's good. Back
marriage
4.
counseling in the making."
Yeah. Speed's perfect here.
And as it peaked a little bit, looks like it may have, but they need something, need a little confidence boost. All right, let's get our first update. Number 8, Skurlick. Number 9, Inglis out of the Ottawa Hunt and Golf and Curling Club. And Inglis with her last.
Danielle made a very difficult shot through a port on her first to remove a red stone that was shot. And on her attempt to follow, Kayla Skurlick wrecked on a guard, and that is why Danielle is now trying to play a tap. She is already lying 1, trying to make it 3.
And that will work. That'll be 3 for Inglis, who works for Curling Canada, is in the media and web department, and had been to a couple of Scotties as an alternate, once with Rachel Holman and another with Holly Duncan. She also comes out of, has on her resume the U Sport, a gold medal at the university.
It's another one of those young teams that's working their way through Ontario right to the top. Had good provincials last year. Boy, Kat Caithlin can't see a ton of this, and we know how straight it is.
Yeah, there's not a lot available to her. She can play off her own.
Yeah, that's what I thought they do with peel weight. But they're not. They're going to play a soft one. Has to curl hard.
Jocelyn Peterman trying to help it over if she can. Watch out. Where's it going to go? And catches enough and will chip it through.
That was way tougher than it looked.
No, yeah. Good sweep.
So it'll be 2 more that Abby Marks faces with her last.
Just a little fresh out there. Yes, she threw a normal weight hit on her first one. But softening the weight, will it go? Will it grab the frost? She had the broom in the right spot through the exact speed.
It came off of her in the end with the curl, but I had just a quarter.
Okay.
Yeah. It was less than half.
Vacuums are hard.
Yes, it was less than half.
True.
Huge shot there too, Vic. You know, if you don't make that, and the odds of making that were probably less than 50%. It's 3-2, and it gives this young team some life. Now you have to draw for a single.
Needs a bite of the 4. That's what you're looking for, that top 4. McKenzie.
T-line.
Line's good.
Bonneau.
Can't hurt it. Gotta go.
Alyssa Crow watching the line. Get to the 4.
Okay, good sweep, guys.
Get to the 4 and get on the board as Abby Marks will pick up a single here in the second. Laws has the lead and will have the last rock for the first time when they begin play. Now quickly over, and what have we got here, Kathy?
Well, Clancy Grandy is a one-woman band right now. Those 2 red stones that you see are both of hers. She drew on her first one. That's the one on the left side as you look at it. It is second shot. And then on her final stone came down to another yellow stone, wanting to make sure that there was not just one red in play. So Holly trying to come off of that red stone just thrown and roll a little bit to bite the button for the second point.
And then rolls it away, and it looks like they'll have to settle for just the single point. So Holly Duncan out of Woodstock picks up a single. Grandy from Vancouver will have the hammer when we come back. Abby Marks out of the Crestwood Curling Club in Edmonton picks up that single to get herself on the board. And for the first time of the game, Caitlin Laws from the Fort Rouge in Winnipeg will have the hammer up 3-1 after that steal of 3 in the first. As we welcome you back and say hello again. Nice to be back with you. Our season of champions starts here in Oakville, and we'll be with you now with our events right through the Men's Worlds in Switzerland, in Schaffhausen this year, and they end first week of April.
Top 8. Hair tight. Hair tight. Hair tight. Line's good. Top 8. Top 4. Yeah, we gotta go.
Top 8.
Line's good. Line's good. Yeah, keep
Top
it going,
8.
guys. As far as it'll go. Hard.
Go hard, Jay, hard.
Go, 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 go. Okay, that's good. What was the time there, Abby? 4-4? 4-4.
Rushers yelled top 8 early. That's what they ended up with.
So Abby Marks, one of the 16 teams here in this PointsBet Invitational. And as mentioned, we have the 10 top teams in terms of points from the Canadian team ranking system. And then you've got a junior champion, U Sport. And you see Serena Gray Withers. What a year she had. She won the juniors. She also won the next gen. And because of that, Marks was the runner-up. She got the ticket here. Same for Holly Duncan, because the invitation went to the Ontario champion. That would have been Rachel Homan. She already was in because of the points, so Duncan comes as the runner-up. And that's your field of 16.
That's the beauty of this event, in my opinion. You know, you give these young teams a chance. They're playing on national television. They're playing on great ice against the legends in our country. All they can do is learn.
Good. Whoa.
Both teams a little light here, Vic, but that's the way to miss shots in this sport.
Close.
Both yellow and red can be raised later.
Hard. I got this one.
Very nice.
Okay.
And with the Curling Canada hat on, that is the giveaway. This is Mike Merklinger. The earlier gentleman was caught using his credit card trying to escape escape the building. As he said, I'm going to use some of that ice maker money and get the heck out of here. So whoever you were, you had your moment of fame, and
we're on to you.
Now sitting in the back of the cruiser. So, but Mike and his crew have worked overtime to get this ice ready.
Great throw, Josh. That's my fault.
Have they ever? I think it was 7 in the morning, Sunday morning was when they started, and they've obviously worked 24 hours a day right till now.
Well, when we walked in here yesterday, around the noon hour.
You asked me if I've ever called swimming.
It's too shallow for diving, but we might be able to do the breaststroke in here. But it was wet. To be sure, it was wet.
It's insane how these guys can pull it together, Vic. They put another flood on after we were here. It wouldn't have frozen until 7, 8 o'clock at night. Then you've got to deal with that extra humidity. And look at the surface here. Really good.
Watch out. Well, they'll tap it up, so it's Marks with Outlast Rock. Sitting the lonely one, but undercover, top of the 4.
She just tailed the hand.
Do you think you can chase?
Yeah.
You can try. You can try, and if you split off the front, it's pretty good. Okay. Thinking like, I like
Caitlin's going to play a defensive shot here. You could argue that a little freeze in there would make some sense too. Just be a little more patient, and then you've got all kinds of raises.
I would agree. Right.
Now, some of these teams will be familiar with these stones. They are Curling Canada stones. They were used at the PointsBet last year in Fredericton. They were used at the Scotties. And they were used at the New Holland Juniors.
Oh, so good.
Nice call.
Little chip and the takeout to push it through.
Did you get that?
Brilliant line call by Caitlin Laws. Just takes the paint off their own red one, redirects it perfectly.
Good sweep, guys.
It's a bit of curl in tight there, Vic. Oh, wider than the edge of 4, middle 8 wider. We know it's very straight, but you get in a little tighter, there's quite a bit of finish.
Kathy, am I fair to say that that kind of call by Laws only comes with experience and reps?
It does, and the other thing that I was thinking is that Selena had a tough year last year. She had some physical issues, so had to step away relatively early in her pregnancy, and so it must feel so good for her to be back playing and to be playing as well as she did, because if you think back to that Fleury team that lost the Olympic trials final, Selena was such a huge shot maker with that team and with this team, and now Caitlin can call whatever she wants again, which is very liberating.
On board.
Trying to roll it over and sit on the corner. Couldn't get it there.
Be aggressive on this. You hit it on the nose. It allows Team Marks a chance to get out of jail. You roll buried here. They could put the game away right here.
Anything?
McCush. And they'll leave it right there.
Just a tiny head.
Good. Thinking if we can ever stick it there.
I like that.
That's not bad.
Sorry. I mean,
Do you like this turn on it with peel or?
yeah, I don't mind that if you want to throw weight at it and play the double like this.
Yeah, I kind of like.
Thinking?
I kind of like the way you got it.
Okay, I like that, Abby.
Can you go this way though, hey?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm seeing that way to get it to go. Okay, you got it.
You heard Abby say we'll throw peel weight here, hit this one, roll over, try to stick it. Throwing that much weight makes it that much more difficult to stick it.
Yeah.
Be tempted to redirect this with a softer weight. This is kind of an all or nothing. Hit it a bit thick, Kathy. You go right across the top. You hit it a bit thin, you'll spin off the low rock.
It's tough.
As we watch Marks getting ready for the final stone for Kayla Skurlik out of the Garrison in Calgary.
Well, she is being forced after a great shot. Danielle Inglis is making the local fans very happy. Facing two behind a guard, she made an angle slash double to leave herself lying two. And the shot stone is buried. This is a draw to the full 8-foot, biting four for sure for the single.
Fight the 4. Hard.
Meanwhile, Marks touched them all, backed her stone right out. Still leaves the Laws team sitting two, and she'll get, Skurlik will pick up one to get on the board.
Oh, I think she was a little short, Vic. I think it's one steal for Inglis again.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, that stopped dead coming over the hog line.
And I think that's where we're going to see that frost.
Still playing it the same way. We still have 7 more ends to go.
Back to Abby's shot with that big weight. It did spin off the shot rock and rolled right out of play, and now they're in trouble again.
Yeah.
Come around here, top 4, top 8, even top 12.
You got it.
Anything but deep.
Top 4. Okay, just fight the 4. Room right now. Sliding nice now. Line's great. Twirling now. Line's great. All you. Sliding nice. Full 4. T-line. Line's great. Whoa. 14-2. No, it's back 4. No.
Stumps just side of the button, T-line.
Not right where they wanted it. Sometimes, Vic, Team Laws was looking for top 4, but that's dangerously close to the worst spot you can put it. I would rather try for top 8, top 12. Halfway down, if the brushers can get it there, fine.
I don't think I like more. I think I like that weight. Or thinking like same weight they usually for you draw for 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll go at the end, so we'll keep a brim down.
Okay. Yeah.
Unless it's really up.
Okay, let's make it. Abby. You got it, Abby.
Big.
Come here close. That was big. Come here close. T-line.
Running.
Back
Easy.
4. Back 4.
Low line. Whoa.
Cannot bounce off.
And they have backed right off
Straight and come in here.
Mackenzie and Bonneau.
Yep, hard line.
Plan B, they're trying to get a bye now, Vic.
Hard line.
A little rub, roll over. Maybe there's a little curl left, and she'll sit for second shot. Center line back 4.
Okay.
Good idea. They called the audible, but just a shade late.
So all the teams got money in their pocket to cover their expenses to come here, $5,000. But now it's about the money that you can win if you win and move on. So if you pick up a win in the Sweep 16, it's worth $3. And by the time you get to the final, you'll take home as much as $50,000.
She was really sweet, like calling you on to sweep for straight at the end. I just snapped just a bit. Okay. Board. Okay.
Caitlin's one of the very best in our country at throwing the weight she's asked for here. They're looking for board. I don't think you could reckon the guard if you throw board.
Tap it far enough for the 3, do you think?
Yeah, oh, easily, and maybe hang around.
Kelly is grabbing a bit.
Board. Yep.
Thinks it may be grabbing a bit.
Clean.
Peterson left, McCush right.
Yep. Clean. You're fine.
Just a dust, you're fine, says Selena Negevin, and sure they are. 1, 2, 3, and that one at the top for 4. Here we go. Can you run this back and stick it? Got it? Stick, and it does for 2. Chip it, roll it, maybe get your deuce, chip it up, there you go, roll it over, got it, oh, he's got it for 2. Absolutely brilliant shot, and Carruthers will pick up the $50,000. So Reed Carruthers is here again as defending champion. Brad Jacobs now part of that Carruthers team. There you see the 16 teams headed up by Brad Guju, number 1. And Carruthers, he will open tonight against the reigning junior champion. That's Johnson Tao from the Saville Community Sports Center in Edmonton. Reigning junior champion. He was the silver medalist a year ago, was Johnson. So that's the game we'll have tonight at 7 Eastern time. So difficult to start, certainly for Abby Marks. Down 7-1. We'll move right over to sheet B now and drop in on Clancy, Grandy, and Holly Duncan as we play in the 4th of a 1-1 tie, and Grandy out of the Vancouver Curling Club with the hammer.
Well, Grandy has been the difference in this game. Her team has struggled through the order, but she has been precise with a run back in 1 and some great draw weight in 2. But Holly Duncan and her team have really been putting the pressure on.
Close. Yeah. So unforgiving with any little set.
Interesting comment. We saw Team Marks, Kathy, missing a lot of shots wide. You just heard it's very unforgiving if you set it a bit, which means a little outward motion on your release, and they're hanging a little bit. The faster you figure that out, the better chances you have of winning. I thought Team Laws looked really sharp in those 3 ends.
Okay. Think we want to make that. Kate, can you throw this?
Where do we want to hit?
Kate, and roll a shooter. If you want to play less, that's fine. Like, we can play 11. If you just kill the 1 is good.
Yeah, I like 11, I think.
Kate, I like that. You like that ice?
Yeah, but nothing's really gone crazy.
Okay, I'll give it to you guys.
Is 1 weight, Russ, a little more controllable? Why would Kayla like that 11 compared to something else?
The lighter weight's more controllable because you got the brushers to make it go left and right it slightly, but it's also the guard that's the problem. lighter you can throw this, the less you have to squeak by the guard.
Whoa! Curl! Curl! No. Shoot her! No.
Want to hang around.
Okay.
And won't spin back, so shot rock belongs to Grandy. However, there is one undercover sitting back edge of the 4. That belongs to Duncan. We want to thank Diane on Twitter, who tells me the gentleman we identified earlier, who is in the back of the police car.
He's still there, yeah.
Yeah, that's Scott Foster, and he is from the Oakville Curling Club. So,
or used to be.
Used to be now, yes. Yeah. Well, he probably lost him his job now. And yeah. Those TSN guys are really nice. So thanks, Diane, for that.
So, thanks.
A bit of an overroll is okay, I think.
Kayla McMillan. Just a shade heavier than Skipper wanted on the previous intern down this exact same spot.
Whoa. Rochelle. Curl. Hard. Sit.
Yep.
Okay. It's okay. Good. 10. Good call, guys.
Your slot is just like open.
Yeah, I like it because I think.
Well, we saw earlier that Carrie Anderson was the heavy favorite against Josie Zimmerman. That Zimmerman is on the board. She's out of Augustana University College. That's in Camrose. Reigning college champion, and that college in Camrose is a satellite of the University of Alberta. It's an affiliate. Two times representing Ontario. Holly Duncan in 18 went 5 and 7, and in 22 in Thunder Bay went 4 and 4.
Whoa!
Oh, this has to curl a ton to hang around. It might make the red double here.
10-1.
And she will
Sorry,
not. Duncan went at the PointsBet last year and lost
It's a bit off.
in the Sweep 16. But tied here against Clancy Grandy.
It's okay. Yeah. Maybe a hair less, Kayla.
I like that, yeah.
Yeah.
It looked like it was trying.
Yeah. Just setting it a little at the end?
Like nothing crazy that I would really call a set. Especially like a nice Louise with 2 curl, right? So I like it.
With Mike Merklinger polishing the rock, or sanding the rocks up just before the competition, that would allow him to clip it less. By clipping it less, sometimes you'll have less curl than you think. So it's an adjustment period. He can now put a little more clip on draw number 2 or draw number 3. But what I've noticed so far, Vic, is just about every error has been on the wide side.
I would echo that, Russ.
Have you noticed that in the other sheets too?
Absolutely, that's been the mistake. If there has been one, it's been to the wide side.
Stay close if you were.
Yeah, 14-3. Okay.
Okay, stop 4.
Yeah.
I've been given there for center line.
Yeah.
So Duncan's sitting the 1 behind cover, back edge of the 8 as we go over and check in
Try to hit
on Danielle Inglis and Kayla Skurlik, and Skurlik with last rock.
Well, that little red biter on the outside is going to potentially be a problem, and that is why Kayla's playing the hit. Danielle tried a double on her first, didn't remove both, and so on her final was trying to make the double to remove that biter and roll under the guard, but stuck it on the nose. So for Kayla, she just doesn't want to jam on the back if she's going to score 3.
We're playing the other.
Hard, Brett!
Whoa.
out of the Garrison Curling Club in Calgary. And trying to avoid it and cannot.
Yep.
So she'll roll inside, and that will be a couple for Skurlik to get on the board. Last year went 4-4 at the Scotties.
Good.
Another good team coming up through the ranks.
14-2. Okay. Should have just let it go.
Obviously good speed in this spot. 14-2 wasn't even close to T-line. You could probably throw a 15-5 hog-to-hog measurement.
Just adjust from the last one for you guys. Hair more. Yeah, this is kind of like where we were for draw the button and everything, just that middle 8. It'll be the same speed here. Okay.
She now makes her home in Coquitlam, but originally from Burlington, Ontario, which is just the next town over from Oakville, going west towards Hamilton.
Okay, a little wider line.
Former Ontario junior champion back in 2011 is Clancy Grandy.
Line's good for center line.
Running like it's there.
No backing. Okay, teeth good.
To your point, Vic, rather Russ, that was 15:07.
Okay.
For the single. And I'm putting on a name tag now just so she doesn't confuse us. We're so similar.
Steve.
We'll be here through Sunday, the 16-mile sports complex here in Oakville. And the second edition of the PointsBet Invitational. Clancy Grandy with the single to take a 2-1 lead over Holly Duncan. Vancouver against Woodstock. And here in the 5th, it is Duncan with last rock. She has the hammer playing the Yellowstones.
Great shot.
I think that weight this way is probably fine.
Top 8.
Yeah.
Okay. Great, you got it. Weight's close.
Do it.
Okay, close.
Top 8.
Wait on me.
Top 8, top 4.
Wait on me.
So here's another curler that in the resumes now you look at.
Back 4.
Tess Guyot
Go around straight. Or you like
was a college champion with Fanshawe College out of London, Ontario. And as we said in the past, Kathy, it doesn't matter what it is. It's competition. You get your reps in, and it builds too. So you're not just arriving at, say, the adult level with nothing to show but your junior career.
No, and your junior career now, when you look at a lot of the teams, they're getting better and better because there are more elaborate tours. You look at the Alberta Curling Tour, for example. There's an event almost every weekend. There's more to play in, but it's always been that transition. How do you go from juniors to women's or men's and try to make that leap? So the more events that are in play, the better and the easier that transition can be. But there's still a leap. There's no doubt.
good. 11-7. Okay. That weight's nice. Like
Well, the gentleman who is now in charge of high performance for Curling Canada is David Murdoch, former silver medalist, of course, in the Olympics, Scotland. And he's already had a couple of camps across the country, inviting the top teams to come. And he's been watching Clancy Grandy. He's right in behind us. And Clancy was at one of those camps, trying to bring some, new perspective to the training regimen. And it's all about preparation.
It's about preparation, and one of the things that David's also very focused on is rock placement for a lot of the teams, and I've already heard some of the teams refer to it. So his philosophy is that the differences between players is not in release, as we talked about for years, but if you're all sliding out at the broom, in a relatively straight line and your starting position in the hack is a relatively straight position, then any nuance that you do with your release at the end is going to be minimal compared to if you slide out wide and I slide out tight, and then we're trying to work our way back to the broom. And so a lot of that philosophy is being embraced by teams and used, and we're starting to see a difference. We'll see how far that progresses during the year.
Yeah, I can't agree more, Kath. You start sliding a little off the broom compared to somebody else in your team. Now that there's a fix, and you have to try that. As you try to fix and redirect and re-steer that rock back online, you're now not concentrating on the most important thing, which is the speed.
Yes.
The game we started with as they play in the fourth, and it appears that Caitlin Laws is sitting one at least. There could be two, and the final stone coming up now for the skip from the Crestwood in Edmonton, Abby Marks.
I do believe it is one. Caitlin elected to use her timeout allocated to the first 5 ends to take a look at whether they make a play against that yellow stone or they try to block the path to the center. They elected to try to block the path, but there is an opening to get to shot stone.
Hard! Hard, Jay, hard! Hard!
And that's the kind of game it's been.
One. One red.
One it is.
I know Kathy, David Murdoch is a big believer of the rock position in the hack too, because everybody's got that dip toe now. They've got virtually no rudder foot. You're going to slide where you're going to slide. And getting that rock in the right spot in relation to your kickoff foot is the key, and he's done a wonderful job of that. When you look at the top 10 in the world right now, and I know it's early, it's only the end of September, but on the men's side, 5 of the top 10 teams are from Scotland.
Yeah, that is not an accident. And the other thing that I think that was good with all the camps that were run is that it really forced teams to focus on technical early in the year when you're working on your mechanics. Sometimes we tweak that during the year, but when you start the year by thinking about how do I want to throw, how do I want to position myself for sweeping, you get all of those good habits reinforced early, and that helps you carry it through.
Yep. Okay, well, curl, 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 curl.
Kayla McMillan.
9-4. Good call, guys. Okay, that's good.
Just hit 3 without.
Good seat. Okay. No, I slid a little tight and just kind of got it back, but just a little too much. So I was like, I can never over curl.
No,
this,
yeah,
so.
you played it.
Yeah. Okay, good sweeping.
It'll be interesting early in the season if some of these elite players have had to move the rock in the hack noticeably, and I'm sure they have. There's a big adjustment to your balance point and how you're going to release it and what it's going to do at the far end.
Well, it's really interesting. Last weekend watching the Okotoks final, you could hear in a microphone, rock to the center. And that was a Brett Gallant to one of his teammates on Botcher's team. So they are trying to all start from that same point. And it's a technical cue that you have to give your players if that's not how they usually start it.
It should curl up just that bit at the end. Yeah. Maybe just a sliver more, Kayla.
It's nice, in my opinion, that
10, like nose or just like
some of the curlers are accepting. Because if you've been doing something the same way and you've had success at it, for someone new to come in, albeit there's a resume that comes with it, so you might just say, "Nah, don't bother."
Right.
But it seems from what you say and what Kathy has said, many of the players are accepting.
Yeah, once you quit learning, they're going. People are going to go past you.
Clean. Yep.
Clean.
Whoa.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Been meaning to talk to you.
Well, I got your name right.
There you go, Kathy.
10.
We should chat.
Whatever.
Yeah, good call.
I think
It's
it goes.
early. You drive the car, I sit in the back.
And when we get to Regina, you're going to be pushing.
Oh, we're going back to the scene of the crime.
Might, if you're just off those, you might roll to here.
Or do we play it that way?
Yeah, I think I like
Those
that
two.
better.
Okay.
I think.
So was it 6-7 years ago? Just to keep you.
I think I still like first.
We were leaving the arena, and it had been snowing, and we were in a front-wheel drive car, and we couldn't get up this little mouse hill, and
By we, you mean you.
me couldn't get the car to go up. Everybody out, including Kathy.
Well, no, he barked at Cheryl, myself, and my daughter. Get out, there's too much weight in the back. Pardon me.
Well,
And we pushed.
yeah, you do. and we finally got home. Yes. Oh dear.
You're a team player, Kath.
Oh, yeah, well, you were in your dress shoes. I thought you were getting run over for sure. Oh, dear.
Clean. Whoa. Whoa. Yep. Whoa.
Holly Duncan, her first. She does have the last rock. Uh-oh.
Yeah, another under curl.
Okay.
Fully. Play the out turn side.
Yeah. Maybe a little release. Like it's like a weird. Like I really like your slide, and then it just like
Floats a little.
right at the end. It's like you're. I like the release initially, and then it's like something at the end, and then the rock looks like it goes out a little.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just fully into the 8-foot.
It's a simple call here, but you could put it over in this area here, but leave the front open.
Yeah.
And by going center line, top 8, top 12, it forces the opponent to go that little bit wider. We talked a bit about the dusting of frost. That might push the Duncan out wide enough here that you miss that draw, and it's a draw against 3. So this is a really good call. It's a simple call, but some teams would just split the rings. Top 12, maybe top 8 maximum.
I think it's a bit
Force your
heavy.
opponent out wider.
Hold on. Okay, we're in a wider line.
Can you go?
Just let it stop. 15-1. Just
No.
Just fully.
Okay, that's okay.
Pretty good, because I don't think you can hit that dead on and be shot rock.
Good, guys. I thought do you guys know a little bit wider out here?
Or you roll. You can roll maybe to here, but you'd have to hit like you'd have to throw like control.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, like, for a draw, which side do we know?
Yeah.
For a draw, like, is there a side you know better?
Test through this side. It's not
Slower, yeah.
It's not slower,
But
yeah.
this one you got to go a little bit wider. Or we play this.
It's a 14-8, so it'll be a little bit slower here too, but not as slow. Maybe like 14 and a half. Yeah.
Does this come down to choice, Kathy, whether you want to play the hit and the little roll, or if you think you have your draw weight, go with it?
That hit little roll is
And, like,
not
front
easy.
side there, I guess it's
That's
a
a
little
hit
bit of
big roll.
pressure, right?
If you're thin, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's, yeah, you could do this actually. You just played this spot-ish, so it's totally up to you. Or like what you feel.
By Grandy putting it, it's a simple call, simple strategy decision, but putting it in the spot she
I like
did.
this hit.
Now there's some doubt.
There is, and normally you would expect
Yeah.
You were
that a
here
draw to
with
the
it.
8-foot is something that you put the broom down and throw the draw. But there's clearly discomfort with that.
And it's not like the ice is bad.
Nope.
It's perfect. It's just maybe that 4 feet slower here. 4 feet, it's a steal of 2.
Okay. You like there?
Yeah, I like that. You got it.
Yeah.
Looks like they're playing the hit here, Vic.
I think they are. I think that's what she called.
And that's no gimme either. You have to roll. You roll too far, it's a steal of a couple.
Final stone here in 5.
Clean. Clean.
Right now, Grandy sitting 2.
Clean. Whoa. It's close. It's close. Rachel, a little bit.
Rachel Strybosh. And doesn't roll far enough.
I think it's red.
It'll be a steal of 1.
One red.
One red.
1 red it is. We'll go to the break. 3-1 Grandy.
The 2023 PointsBet Invitational is brought to you in part by Home Hardware. Here's how. By Cashmere, Canada's #1 bathroom tissue. Nothing feels like it. By BKT Tires, growing together. And by Montana's Barbecue and Bar, Canada's home for barbecue.
Holly Duncan and her team from the Woodstock Curling Center. Last year's Ontario runner-up find themselves down 3-1 as we check the numbers after 5. And there you see, Sherry Madaw is their coach for this event, Kathy.
Well, it's been one of those up and down games, and what you don't see in those numbers is the team percentage, and it has been Holly Duncan's front 3 that put more pressure, but Clancy Grandy made some pivotal shots. You look at those hits at 90, those include runbacks on buried stones to get herself out of trouble. Not much to choose between, maybe a decision-making error in the last stand by Holly Duncan.
Clancy Grandy out of the Vancouver Curling Club went 6-4 at the Scotties. Her first, that was last year, and she leads it. Before we get back to our game, let's check in on Carrie Anersing against Josie Zimmerman. And how many yellows were there?
5 there were, and that is what she faces, and it has not been about misses. Josie and her team have continued to throw stones in the house, trying to play freezes. Carrie Anersing and her team doing a very effective job of removing them and rolling over, and that's why she faces 5, looking for the 4 foot.
The 23 Alberta College Curler of the Year. They won their championship in Sudbury, and they are on the board with their second. And 7-2, Anersing leads it. Welcome back to Oakville, 16 Mile Sports Complex. Day 1 of our coverage. The second PointsBet Invitational. And we've turned our attention to the game between Clancy Grandy out of Vancouver, Holly Duncan from Woodstock. Duncan now with the hammer here in the 6th, playing the yellow stones.
Yep. Line's good. Line's good. Still Kayla's roll. It's coming off. Okay. Try to leave it on center if you can. Yep.
Great finish, hog line in if you're in the 4 foot strip.
Good. Yeah. Good throw. Just like that, or just draw? You can draw. Just draw? Yeah. No, exactly.
Well, it's just been a rough go for Abby Marks. We started with this game 8-1 now. Laws leads it. Marks with her last coming up. And what did you count up there? 6?
6. It is 6 on her final stone. Caitlin made a double. Abby was trying to freeze on her first to a shot stone at the back of the 4 and came up in the 8 foot, and that allowed Caitlin to remove the 2 yellow stones in the house, and that's why you're looking at 6, looking for full 4.
All you. Curling. 4-5. Good throw, Abby. Okay. 1.
Well done. That's what she needed earlier. She put it on the button to gain the hammer. That was her draw there to get her second point.
Yeah, just that first hand. They encouraged you're playing a world-class team.
Yep,
You're down 3 already.
Yep. Yep. Hard. Little heavy. Hard. 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 You got it. You got it. Still got it. Go. Whoa. Girl. Whoa. Center. Yep, right behind
Good
our.
throw.
Yep. Good. Good sweep.
Just soft enough weight to do the job here. Yeah, that was almost completely underneath that tight yellow guard. It's hard to get around and hit and stay.
Yeah, a little big, maybe closer to 12.
It's close. Forward. Clean. Clean. Maybe 11. Close. Whoa. Curl. Nice so.
Could have actually brushed that, made the double, but being down 2 points, you really don't need the double. This might create an error here by Team Grandy. They don't get tight to the guard here. They could jam that on the back one.
Mine didn't do much here, so you can hold it.
Tricky little spot here. You know you can jam it, so you want to get pretty tight to the guard to the point that you hit the
A
guard.
little left. Close. Stay close. Whoa. Stay left. Go high.
Watch the jam.
Okay.
There's to the point, Vic. Hey, if you made the double, which the crowd goes crazy, but it really doesn't help you. By leaving it, it was a really good strategic move.
Whatever you see.
So Duncan now sitting the 1 with the hammer, albeit just a little deep, sitting center line, back 8.
About the same. Whoa. Same weight. Whoa, you're gonna need to curl. Curl.
Yikes.
Okay.
But it's 10-8. What was the first one? I don't think I got a time in the first.
Okay. 11.
Different throw?
Yeah, I thought she was a little wider. Like a
Your
little
time's
drifty.
like 10.8, probably 10.5, and the
Yeah.
surface is about the normal weight for most of these teams. I'd be tempted, Kathy, to just have a little powwow between ends and say, let's start throwing 11s, 11 and a half. So there's very few stuff over curling here.
I have not seen people missing on the inside, and so often you're looking at sweepers that are being asked to sweep to try to move the stone. And I agree with you. On ice like this, right about now, throwing that little bit of less lets it catch the curl and do what you need it to do.
Good sweep. 10-6. Yeah, good call. Yeah, just a little big, and it's just so, yeah.
Well, familiar faces come off the bench to take the place of Sarah Loken at lead. Rochelle Brown, 19 Scotty's winner with Chelsea Carey. And, of course, those 2 silver medals back-to-back in 14 and 15 with Val Sweeting.
Changing gears here now.
Easy. Take a look. I'm good.
You could hit that open one, but rolling buried is tricky, so this is a much easier way to apply some pressure. That's what it's all about here, 2 down.
Yep. Hard.
If you get this deep enough, it should bury.
Hard. Get it by hard. Keep going. Keep going.
Good sweep.
That actually ticked the corner guard and still 2/3 underneath. Pretty good spot.
Like a 12. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And that last was 10-6. That ice looks good. Ha. 12.5. Good sweep. That ice is good.
Wait a bit. Whoa. Rochelle. You gotta go.
Kayla McMillan.
Hard, you gotta go.
Hard.
Hard.
Right to it. You got it.
Hard, you got it.
Hard.
Hard. Good sweep. 11 and a half. Yeah, good.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I like that throw.
You won't be
Oh
shot.
my goodness, it's just so straight.
If we can get shot, I like it. No, you can't. Oh, we can't be shot? Okay. Well, then maybe hit and roll off the top one. On the top one? I don't know if you'll be shot either. Okay.
You don't have to be shot
You
this
can go
early in
this
the
way.
end. You have to get it buried,
Okay.
apply some pressure.
You feel that, Kathy, players still are guessing about the ice?
Oh, I think they are for sure. In any event that you go to, it usually takes you a good game on the ice. And these teams would have had the opportunity to practice earlier this morning. Anybody that played today did. But that doesn't give you enough confidence yet. And so I do think there's still uncertainties. They don't know if the ice will tighten up or if it'll start to move more because no one's played 10 ends out here yet. So there are questions for sure.
Sneak it. No.
Perfect speed.
A hair, like if they take just to edge on edge. Yeah. We should be okay because we'll be out counting goals.
The button were like hanging and then, great, had big finish. Okay. Like I didn't think tight right out of your hand, but maybe just curling a little more.
Okay. Yeah, I think we stick with this hand, like right there, and we'll get a little bit of finish, I think. Okay.
Don't
I
necessarily
think we stick with 10 because I played it last end.
don't necessarily have to roll
And I do
buried
think
here.
this will come up just a hair.
If you roll
Like,
buried,
ideally,
it
if we can
forces
just kind of
Duncan to
be
go
edge on edge
underneath
with our
all the
center.
red ones, and it could hurt your last shot chances. So just dead on's pretty good.
Okay.
Clean. Clean.
Yep.
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 Hard. Gotta go hard. Really gotta go hard. Hard, 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 hard. Holy.
And too thin, and it will spill out the
9-9.
back.
I think draw the same way. Okay. Let's maybe take a little more. Okay.
So you
Based
got
on
another
what
chance.
the first is, So let's try there. Sure. Sorry? I think I got a 14-8. Okay.
An update for you with Danielle Inglis up 5-2 on Kayla Skurlik, and it is the team from Calgary with the hammer.
Well, Danielle faced 2 on her final. She managed to get 1 but rolled out. And so it is that shot stone that belongs to Kayla. This is a draw for 2, looking for 8 foot.
75% on her draw so far.
And this is a team that looked a little shaky the first 3 ends, but they have come on very strong, feeling very confident and looking very comfortable in the last couple.
Any piece of the 8.
Hard, you got it. 5-2. Close the same. Go, go,
Oh, it's going to be a drag here. A little more, a little more.
Atta girl.
And out of girls. Way to go.
Brushing to get it by. You don't usually have to bury for that second point.
Yeah, just less positive, so then. Good.
Just, I think. Yep.
Did you get a hug? 15-2. Okay. I thought you were a little outside of anything. Okay. So it does curl quite a bit.
We're getting quite a bit of curl coming to the home end on that outturn side here. More than we did earlier in the
Run
game.
it straight back. Like if we can hit it a hair high, if nose is good. Nose works too. I think this will run pretty nice here, eh?
Only taking about an inch of ice here. Most curlers are in turn. Curls more than they're out.
Yep. Yep. Hard.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yep.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Yep.
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 Oh, beautiful. Really nice. Nice throw.
Thank you. Sorry.
Lots of speed, Vic. Came right at it, right straight out of the hack perfectly. Good rotation.
I think it'll be a little slower. I don't know where like they were throwing earlier in the end. Did they get out this far or no? The other team.
When?
Earlier this end, do you think they threw
I don't
out
think
this
so.
far? Okay.
No, they were taking like
Maybe a
middle of eight.
smidge then. Yeah.
Now, it may be a little thing, and maybe I'm nitpicking, and it's
Okay, we're gonna take
draw
a little more
one.
ice.
But
To be a little bit slower.
when Megan Balsden says, do you know where they were, were they out this
Like
far?
live? Okay.
Should they not have paid attention to the opposition?
Absolutely, yeah, and then maybe somebody else on the team does remember, but that's why she was asking. But yeah, that's what you have to do. It's all about the memory work, and the only way you can make a lot of shots is guess right on some of these, and that's it's interesting, Kathy, because they shied away from the draw last end.
Yes.
Now they've got to throw that little bit extra weight here.
And they need a draw to the full 8 against 3.
Lead the weight. Running a little bit. Good right now. Room. Take a look. You got room. Take a look.
14. Easy.
Yeah.
Settle down.
Good. One yellow.
And good it is by that much. Nice draw. Guessed correctly.
14. Yeah.
Our first day here at 16 Miles Sports Complex in Oakville, and our first draw of the second edition of the PointsBet Invitational. 3-2. Clancy Grandy out of Vancouver leading Holly Duncan out of Woodstock, and it is Grandy that has the hammer playing the Redstones. Wow. That's Carrie Anderson, top seed, 4-time defending champion. As she plays Josie Zimmerman out of Camrose. And the coach, Reed Carruthers, last year's winner of the PointsBet in Fredericton. And he'll go from coach to being skip on the ice. And this will be the featured game tonight. When we look at the first half of the men's draw, or the men's side, as he plays the reigning Canadian junior champion in Jonathan Tao. And that's a new look Carruthers team, of course, with Brad Jacobs.
Oh boy, how good's that?
Canadian champion, gold medal winner, now throwing the third stone.
I like the energy that Brad brings to all of his teams. Reed's a very thoughtful, quiet, sort of an individual, and you have to count on your energy coming from the order. And Brad Jacobs, beyond being a brilliant shot maker, also just has a certain, I don't know, energy that he brings that every team needs. You need some player to wake you up out there.
It's a good point, Kath. It meshes well with Reed. And Reed's the calming influence.
Yeah.
Brad is arguably, in my opinion, one of the best hitters that Canada's ever produced.
Yeah.
And playing third, he's going to have more of those.
Just tight. Okay. Okay. All right. 28.
I don't know if we really want to go here. Could, but it might be the best.
Do a single peel.
Just full 4. Okay. Do you like that?
Interesting situation here. Grandy, with advantage of last rock here, he would love to get the 2, but you start playing around in that 4-foot, that yellow rock that's frozen side of the 4-foot is going to be nearly impossible to get it out of there. So you could start peeling here. You don't want to close down the scoring area or give up a chance for a steal.
Well, this is the game that we started with. Caitlin Laws out of the Fort Rouge, Winnipeg, against Abby Marks from the Crestwood in Edmonton. And right now, Marks has one just top of the button, but what's left?
Well, it's one of the few times that Abby's put some pressure on Caitlin, and for Caitlin has to be very careful because there are 3 yellow to her 1 red in the house. She's trying to get to the nose, of the stone in the 8-foot make the double. It would be only for one.
Curling 95% is Caitlin Laws. McCush on the brush. Oh, and she'll drive it by. It over-curled on her. So it's a steal of one for Marks.
One yellow.
Caitlin wasn't far off there, and you couldn't miss it the other way. It would have been a steal of three.
Well, I'm sure they tight iced it for that reason.
Yeah.
Whoa, 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 whoa. 10. Curl.
This could be close to hitting their own yellow here.
Okay.
Gets rid of one, pushes another Grandy stone to the back edge of the 12. Shot rock does belong to Grandy.
Do we have to do that?
Would you ever double peel here, Kath? You're
Sure.
one up with.
Okay.
Blank here would be huge, playing the even end 8.
I mean, Linz, even if you are here, like as long as we can get a sliver low, I think
Nothing
that's
wrong
pretty
with this
good.
call either. Your shot rock, you still got an outside shot at a 2,
Yeah.
but
But you get rid of that front.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because if Holly Duncan's happy that there's rocks out front, and I'm sure she is, it makes you wonder whether Grandy's making the right call here.
Okay, a little more.
To it.
There.
Lindsay
Got it.
Dubé.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
To it.
Yep.
Bouncing.
Okay, whoa.
Bouncing.
Whoa.
No, just to it.
Okay. Line's great. Line's great. Yep, 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 yep. Move it a hair. It's good. Good. Yeah, good call, guys. 14-3. Okay. Yeah. Just don't think anything about
Yeah, they're coming this way. Yeah, I'm thinking you come here.
but it's
Okay,
so
whatever
good
you see.
down.
Still a nice chance for Duncan here.
Okay. Sorry? Just
Get
drop.
this top 4
Yeah.
side of the button. Somewhere in that area,
less
you've
than
got
this
2
way,
raise
yeah.
opportunities here.
Right. Okay, you can go
Easy.
for
Take a
line.
look. Take a look.
Room right now. Switch. Where? Hard, you gotta go hard. Hard, you gotta go hard, hard, hard. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Go, 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 go. Little more, little more, little more.
Still
You
shot.
picked with what we needed.
So to the point here now, Team Duncan has 2 options. This one on the intern side's a little tougher, but it's very tough for Team Grandy to do anything about these, all because they've left those 2 yellow guards out front.
And arguably, those 2 yellow stones out front aren't really corner guards, they're center guards that do not work in your favor.
I'm almost kind of seeing. Can you just?
Feel the tight one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can back yourself into a corner, and this is one of those times. One up with, you've got total control of this game. A blank would be a victory. And there's only 3 ends left. You've got hammer technically in 2 of them. Now you've got to guard against the steal.
No, 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 no.
Kayla McMillan.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa.
Okay.
She's going to kill her own. And just like that, it's Duncan sitting the one. Well, NFL on TSN continues tomorrow with a Thursday night. And it's the Lions and Packers. Both of them are 2-1 in that NFC North. Coverage begins 8:15 Eastern, 5:15 Pacific on TSN and CTV2.
Trouble now for Team Grandy. They know this spot, exact same spot as last time, Kathy, like top 4.
Whoa, whoa.
Maybe a hair deeper to get it buried.
Go really out there. Pass this road.
Well, then the pressure is really on Clancy Grandy. That scoring zone is getting smaller by the minute.
Yep, you gotta go hard. Hard. Hard, you gotta go. Go, go. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Keep going, keep going. Keep going, keep going. Yeah, that's good.
Pretty good. A little more curl would have been ideal, but nice shot.
Yep.
Just like taking forever to curl.
14-3. Just through. Okay.
Kind of like a 13.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give this to you guys.
So McMillan going to give it to you guys. That's Dubé and Brown. It's Dubé on the left, Michelle Brown on the right.
Hey, close. Whoa. Whoa. Lins, go. Hard.
Hard, Lynn.
Hard.
Hard.
Got to sneak it by that one first, and they do.
Hard.
And now they'll get a roll away just a little bit. Sitting just top edge of the button. Shot rock for the moment.
Best you could do, and now there's still an opportunity to have two buried. Pretty straight spot on this out-turn side.
Gonna throw control. Just roll under.
Holly Duncan, the two-time gold medalist in U Sport, winning the university championship at Laurier in 2008 and 2009.
Clean. Just clean. Just clean. Clean.
This is close.
Curl. Curl. Curl hard. Keep going. You gotta go.
Trying to hold it now. Get it across the nose just a little bit. Flip it underneath. Oh, very nice. How lovely. Now, she could have, would you prefer to roll it just a little more, or because there's a corner there that if they lay one on, could they take the end away?
Well, you know what? I'd let them. You know, it's possible they could corner freeze it, but if they start making those, you're not going to win anyways. What a great shot.
Do you have any of the red from the half?
Now back again, Kathy. What's caused the problem here? They ignored that front.
Yeah. Like double run.
Yeah, like and get that into the 7, maybe.
We can play the run.
Dropping in on Inglis and Skurlik, 8 versus 9. And Inglis up by 1 and does have the hammer. Shot rock, though, belongs to Skurlik, sitting just top of the button.
Well, the Yellowstone that you see at the back of the 4, that was what Danielle threw on her first one facing 4. Kayla went around, but it's not frozen. This is the attempted double for 2.
Angle it back, touch it, and spin it, and not far enough. And it looks like maybe a steal of 1. And 1 red it is. So Inglis, looking at scoring 2, gives up a steal of 1.
Sorry. That was an ugly slide.
Now they have to deal with the guard. It's pretty late in the end, but it's the right call. Yellow onto the top one.
Whoa, no, curl.
Curl.
Whoa.
Oh, how good's that?
Kayla.
And when they finally settle, not quite all the way out, but Grandy sits the 1, and they're wide open.
That's good, yeah.
Very nice. Gives her a chance in her last one, Vic.
Well, she's made some huge shots early, and this is the kind of thing she does very well.
The reigning BC champ out of the Vancouver Curling Club.
I wonder how much weight she's playing at this. I don't know.
Remember last year they had Nicholas Adine as their coach.
That's right.
Remember?
But if they don't, they've just been running like laser straight with weight.
Straighter the 2 turns here. This should run right up the center line with the normal weight. Even a board weight would be enough here, I think.
8-8. Okay, that's fine.
And they'll lose the shooter, but it will be
Okay.
facing
Right here
2 with her
Grandy.
last,
Get a
Grandy.
little bit for us. Yeah.
Nice end by Team Duncan here. They've got the force, and without that wonderful shot by Clancy on her last one there, it was really a triple raise double that allowed her to have this easier shot.
It's a little bit more on center line, so I think you can be broomed down right away, Linz, on this. Where's the 10? Little big, I thought.
Final stone, Clancy Grandy.
Clean.
Clean.
Clean. Yep. Yep.
Remember, too, Grandy has done her share of coaching. She was a coaching assistant coach of the Netherlands team
Yeah, true.
in Huskins for a couple of years. Picks up the hit and a single 4-2. Well, Clancy Grandy got herself out of trouble here with a big shot in 7.
Did she ever? You always say, "Oh, nice shot with your last one." Sure, last one is not makeable. She just make this one triple raise, virtually a double. At least gets that one yellow out, the back one far enough. That allowed her to have a wide open hit to keep the control of this game.
And reason to smile, the key shot brought to you by BKT Tires, growing together. As we welcome you back on this Wednesday afternoon, our first day of coverage. The second PointsBet Invitational from 16 Mile Sports Complex in Oakville. So 4-2, Grandy leads it. We go to the 8th, and it's Holly Duncan from Woodstock. It does have the hammer playing the Yellowstone.
Good, that's good, that's good. Shot. Good shot. Like Overberry.
Yeah. That works too. More like that first one. Yeah.
So, yeah, she came in, she came in midway through, right after the break, did Rochelle Brown to replace Sarah Loken.
Team Duncan's put a lot of pressure on Grandy here. Kathy talked about it before we went to this game, that Clancy Grandy's kind of kept her team in there, and the same thing happened that end. And Duncan's still 2 down, but they've got to say to themselves, look, we played a great end. Let's just 3 more good ones here, and we got a chance. Make them earn it.
Well, this would be something, wouldn't it? I mean, this is the 7th. We left the game when it was 7-1 after 3. And here we go. Abby Marks is sitting 2, and they are, now there's a third at the back, or 4 actually, pardon me. There's 4, and that's what's facing Caitlin Laws with her last.
And Caitlin made a great shot on her first one. She was facing 3 buried behind a guard in the 4-foot. She ran the guard back, scattered 2 to the wings. Those are those outside stones, and left only 1 in the 4-foot. Abby went around, and so she is looking for the button.
98% on her draws. And that one is going to have to dig in and stop quickly. And 1 for sure.
2 yellow, 2 yellow.
I think it's 2.
2. Boy.
Good job, guys.
How quickly?
Yeah, how does, I mean, it's the mental aspect. You get up so far and you sort of turn it off. Is that what this is?
I don't know if it's that as much as Abby Marks is starting to feel really comfortable, and they're putting a lot more pressure on Caitlin. They're putting the broom in the right spot. They've got draw weight. Those are big things.
Yeah, good point. The reason they were down so much is they were putting the broom in the wrong spot. And they've figured it out, not quite as quick as Caitlin did. But once you're down like that, you kind of go, well, let's go all out here, try to put as much pressure on as you can. And as you say, Kat, they're executing.
And that's what let them down. We did say that to start the game. It was, those first 3 was all about execution.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Good throw, Lynn. Tough one. Yeah, yeah. Clean. Yeah. Hard. Hard roll now and hard.
Might get both reds here.
Yeah, okay, good.
And does.
Understanding the angle there. That dragged just a little wee bit because the yellow-red out front were close enough together. You can get a little bit of an angle change. Watch this. This red kicks to the right just a hair and it allows it to hit and then roll out.
So a little bit of a stagger there that Duncan may be able to use. Kayla McMillan.
Yep. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Yep. 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 Hard. Yep. Hard. 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 Whoa, 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 whoa.
No.
Sorry, shouldn't.
And now even more of a bunch to try and hide behind.
Around this way. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. What do you think doing here? Yeah. Tough one.
Okay.
Not the balanced game for McMillan, just with one draw.
Gotta go a hair wider than the draw of the button path here.
Megan Balsden.
Might be a fraction slower here.
Room right now. Switch. Switch. Stay right here. Just top 12. Just top 12.
Yeah, that didn't slide nearly as well as in, about 6 inches tighter.
I got 14.
And we have our first final, and the odds were correct. Heavily favored.
Everyone back home.
And Carrie Anderson, number 1 in the country, 4-time defending Canadian champ, wins over Josie Zimmerman, the Canadian college champion from Camrose.
Stay close. Stay close. Curl. Lynn, you gotta go.
Okay. 10-6. Good call, guys.
So the first team to move on, and in doing so, picks up the extra money, picks up a $3,000, is Carrie Anderson. And looking ahead, she will play the winner of the game on sheet D between Skurlik and Inglis. And that one right now, Inglis leads 5-3.
Whoa. Curl. Hard for nose. Hard to stick.
Looks in.
I don't know if we can get low, but we can
It
do
doesn't
this
look
for
it from
now.
the hack.
Like if we go here, they've got a chase. They might not be on, to be honest.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
yeah.
Okay.
So I think we probably play 11.
Yeah, this is that
A little
straighter.
straighter here. Yeah.
You don't have to hit this one either, because the danger here is ticking that yellow on the way by, and it's a draw to sit 4. That ticking
Stays
that yellow
on.
could tick it
But I
in.
think if we knows it's not easy for them, like it's borderline them not being on. So I think that's kind of best we can do right now. Just 11 here. It's running that bit straighter. Yeah. Okay, just nice 11.
Is there room to get a little flip underneath, or are you not trying that?
I don't think there is, Vic. It would be too dangerous in the first place.
Right to it. Right to it. Right to it. Right to it. You got it.
Michelle Brown, and they'll roll it away.
Good.
11-6 or 10-6.
Just a bit
Having a
bigger.
look at that biter.
Yeah.
I think it's on, Kathy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think we want to
Okay.
I do not.
Or do we draw?
Good throw.
Yeah, it's a little heavy. I
A
feel
little bit.
that one.
Yeah. 10-6.
She got it close in the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, just like edge to edge there.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
Control with like there.
Yeah, I like it.
Just control. Just roll a little bit. Yeah.
Nobody's over curled in this spot.
Clean. Whoa. Clean. Close. Yep. Whoa. Yep.
Duncan and her first was looking for a little roll if they can get it. And they did. Just a little roll to grab the top. Now it's a sure one, according to Kathy.
I think it's 2.
Okay. So I think we can probably just
As you take a look at the numbers, not much to choose between them. Duncan better at the draws, Grandy at the hits. Player numbers are brought to you by New Holland, proud sponsor of Curling Canada.
I don't think with Peel it's going to come up too much for us out here. What do you guys think? I think it'll run pretty straight. Yeah.
Well,
Just
clearly
try
they
and make
feel
that
it's in, or they would not be playing this at all.
Good try there, Kathy.
Yeah, what the heck.
Yeah.
0 for 1.
It's a long season. You'll be a lot worse by the end of it all.
Thank you.
Even a broken clock's right twice a day.
Thank you, friends.
No. Lynn. Try. No.
Oh,
Okay, you got it.
to tie it up.
Mm-hmm.
Ice is the same as a couple lines ago.
It's one of those games that Grandy couldn't pull away, and all of a sudden, well played force last end by Team Duncan. Well played 2 here, didn't make any mistakes. A force and 9, and you got a great chance to win this thing.
But if you go back to what Kathy said early, if it wasn't for Grandy and the way she was playing, it wouldn't have been close.
No, that's true.
There you go. There's your one.
Yeah,
I
nice.
gave it to you.
Thank you.
So up.
No, very true. It was not that Holly Duncan was not playing well, that her front 3 was out curling the Grandy foursome, but it was Clancy keeping her team in. But this is a very close match between 2 very equal teams.
14-8. Good. Nice. Great.
And there it is to draw the 4 foot for a couple. We're all even. The winner moves on, picks up $3,000. The loser will go home. We already have one final on this opening draw of women's play. That's Carrie Anderson, #1 ranked in our country. She picks up the win over Zimmerman. 1 winning over seed 16. In a 4-4 tie, we welcome you back. Clancy Grandy out of Vancouver and Holly Duncan from Woodstock. And it is Grandy that does have the hammer, has the last rock, playing the redstone.
Shot? It's close. I think, yeah, we're shot. Okay. You could loop one around.
Okay, let's top 4.
Yeah.
You like this?
Just a piece around ours. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So I hear it correctly, Russ, they are sitting shot rock right now, center line, just top edge of the 4. They want to go around that?
Yeah, but not too deep. I'd almost make the mistake light here. You know what Duncan's going to try to do is force or potentially steal. And if this ever slides behind the tee line, it's a problem.
Yeah, you have to go. Yep. Good.
That's fine.
Good weight. 15-2. It just curled a bit more than I expected it to.
Here. Right in the pocket. Okay. Next, same way. So, like a 10 for you? Like a 10, yeah.
These are always so important early in an end. well-placed freeze here. Obviously, you can't get it out for a while. If you ever throw this a couple feet heavy, chop the red one buried, roll open, then the red team will sit 3 on you. So you cannot be deep here.
Okay, we're not on it yet. Okay, tapping. Close it. Line's good. Yep, yep. Tapping. Whoa, whoa. Tapping a little bit. Nice.
Good shot.
Straight rip for now. I think so. Straight at her.
Does Grandy have to open things up, do you think, Kathy?
Whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Good. Thanks. Yeah.
Well, I know you were doing something else, Kathy, so my apology. Let's go over to check in on Laws and Marks, and looks like, well, you got to come through that hole for sure, but she could get 2, maybe 3.
Well, that very fortunate. Abby Marks was on her last. She was coming between those 2 corner guards and just grazed the outside one so slightly that it took the turn off of it, redirected it straight, drifting into the 4-foot. That is now the stone that Caitlin Laws is chasing for 3.
Small port, too.
Big brush early. Here we go now. Peterman's picked her up. Get through, get through, get through. Oh, for a 3.
It's a great shot.
Whatever.
Caitlin Laws, after getting a scare, giving up 4 straight points, 3 of them stolen, will win it as Abby Marks will fall 11-5 here final. And so Laws now advances.
I was just watching the outfit.
Last year, she made it to the Final 4, going 2-1.
There was that much on each side, right?
Well, and that shows the experience after a shot like that, where you feel like you're going to have a draw for 3. You see the opponent, what they did. The opponent says, sorry, it doesn't matter. You still have to sit in the hack and make it, and that's what experience does.
That was a tough shot, Kathy. There
Very.
was just 0 room for error. And she had to throw it hard, Caitlin, to keep it straight enough after go by the corner guard to keep it straight enough to get past the tighter guard.
Still tight? Okay. Could you freeze it on ours? Tight's fine, easy. The line's not great for a freeze. Yep. Hard. Okay.
So Anderson's the first to move on. Laws now 4 wins over 13. And she can look right next door on sheet B. She will play the winner of Grandy Duncan.
I think we can play it with weight but thick. Try and keep our shooter, kill that one, lose the 5. This is going to maybe spin a hair.
Yeah, maybe a little
But
more
if
weight
we-
to try to like move that a little bit.
Yeah, but I think if we can keep our shooter right now, that's probably ideal.
Yeah. Okay.
Just because they're
Yeah,
still
it
going to
would
have
be.
that at the back. So I
Yeah.
think just throw it hard.
Okay. I guess
In
even
turn.
nose isn't
Not bad at
awful.
all. Yeah.
Okay.
I think just a sliver high is
Yeah.
best.
You could do that, Kathy. You could tap that red one all the way, and then the yellows are accessible to hit. Or you could just throw, as they're talking about hitting this one, getting rid of the yellow, keep the red hanging around, and then you still got 2 red in play. And I think that's the safer play. Just on the nose, or maybe a little on the center line side, right where the broom is. And you lose the right-hand red, but your shot rock stays in the paint, and more importantly, open the front up a little bit.
I think you scatter those 2 yellow ones so that you're going to have a play at that other red one.
And the top yellow should go out of the rings.
No. No.
Close.
No.
It will for sure.
No. Okay. That's
Loosens things up. Grandy still sitting the shot rock, but lonely red.
I don't know that she needed to throw that much weight.
No. Again, hanging around is so important.
Yeah. Just the 2 doubles here. And
Normal?
So, Kathy, to your point now, if you throw less weight, you're not moving stones as far. You're maybe not losing one of your own. Is that the point?
It is, and that red stone that you were, the yellow, red, that red was going out all day with quieter weight, but you keep your shooter around, and now all of a sudden it's 3 versus 1, and now all of a sudden Holly Duncan's chasing, and she's not.
sorry, Meg.
Lost it. They overcurled that a bit. They wanted to keep that middle yellow on the tee line area.
Sorry. This is a bit quiet, I think.
Make this double.
Looks to me, Kathy, the center line's a bit of a magnet. You get closer to the center, you're getting a little more curl and out wider. They lost that one.
Or
Definitely seeing a little bit of changes. Almost feels faster to the wings as I'm watching other sheets as well.
Okay. I think then we're better to try and make this one and move that as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you like the in again, or do you want to throw the out now?
The out.
Okay.
If you throw this hard enough and hit the shot rock at about 10 o'clock, there is a triple. You'd have to be dead perfect with it, but you can definitely get all 3 of these moving. Ideally, make the double and stay would be a very good.
Yep.
Oh, yep. Yep. Hard.
And stuffed it at the back. So Duncan is sitting 2, albeit behind the tee line and
I think we want to come
without last rock.
block this potential double. Yeah. That. Okay. I think here.
Okay.
Still a little slower?
Not really.
Okay.
I don't know what the long times you got, but the split times are kind of like the faster spot. Yeah.
Okay.
Just in this area here like that, even if you protect, like dead buried in this area here would be the ideal shot, but you could also go here and protect that back yellow. And then there's a tough out-turn draw, I would guess, against 3, and they're all in the 4-foot.
It's not too bad here now.
Well, you got 1, 2, looks like 2, maybe 3. That's what's facing Danielle Inglis in a 5-5 tie against Kayla Skurlik.
Well, she was facing 3 on her first, and she went around. So this is a similar shot to her first, although the first time she was throwing the in turn, this time playing the out turn. So different path, looking for full 4.
Line's good. Curl. Easy. You're good.
And she'll play to the 1 back 8, and that will be and up for a single.
Is that us or them?
That's good call.
Okay, good. Yay.
I was waiting for it too. I wasn't sure.
Super cash. Just nice.
Great brushing communication there. They yelled, "We need backing" right off the bat. They brushed it properly.
But it slid nicer than.
Okay. I think we're going here for that. That looks close. That's where Lindsay and Rochelle were.
These are the ones you can miss. The straighter the 2 sides, so it's tough to get to if you're heavy. It's tough to touch that back one that's almost fully buried.
Draw now, top 4. If we can finish it once we're by ours, that's probably better.
I don't need to tell you them, but
making that yellow back harder for her. Speed's holding up okay here.
Top 4, just buried by an inch would be ideal.
Top 4. That's a bit big, guys.
Added a lot.
No.
A lot of line.
When you
No.
extend like that, you not only add, but you add rotation.
You can actually see it right out of her fingers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Coming down though.
Yeah, maybe got caught a little bit as they jumped it late. Now did they get it too late? Did they get it too late? Oh, it just rubs that little bit.
Wow, that came down. That might have grabbed.
You almost wonder because they
Yeah.
weren't even close to cleaning it,
No.
and she just squeaked the top.
I know. I think we're just starting to lose a little bit.
Look at the rotation.
Oh, she actually touches it.
She did, yeah.
Yeah, everybody thought that was deep, eh?
Okay, so that's 14-3. And earlier we were talking 15-2, 15-3. So it is in that slide path starting to flatten out that little bit.
And under her breath, she said, I think we're starting to lose it a little bit.
Put that in a beautiful spot after all that.
Yeah, it's just. I know. I was like, hey, we're heavy, like we're a little wide.
Yeah, so a bit more. Yeah. Okay, right to it.
If I have to draw a wide net, then I think we can get there. Yeah, because you can come to that.
Line's good. Okay, sweep for top four. Close line. Close, yeah. Yeah, line. Yeah, line. Whoa. 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 Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, whoa.
No jump in this one.
Test.
No, it needs to die here.
Okay, sorry.
I think, Kathy, that previous rock grabbed a bit.
Maybe. Because it definitely did something different.
Slid pretty good.
And that chips it a little bit farther under.
You have to be so aware, watch every shot all the way down.
Yeah, like I think, yeah.
That didn't slow down like they expected.
Well, and even in that path, that's the path that everyone slides over. It could have been a footprint or a handprint, which is, again, as a brusher, just to be on top all the time.
I think that's going to run a bit better. I think max, guys.
Okay, well then.
Needs good,
I think you're too much.
good piece of the four. There's a second shot
No,
sitting
you're
back
too much.
edge of the four. And that front end is backed away. Brown and Dubé.
No.
Yeah, the first one fooled everybody.
Oh boy, this is a big miss. Big miss. Settling for one, had a chance for two. And so now, coming home, Duncan down by one will have the hammer. We started with 4 games on the ice this opening draw of the PointsBet Invitational here in Oakville. 2 games are complete, and 2 of the favorites have advanced, and Carrie Anderson and Caitlin Law seeded number 1 and 4 respectively. Battle of 5 against 12, and it's a Grandy, Clancy Grandy out of Vancouver that has the lead. And Holly Duncan from Woodstock with the hammer playing the Yellowstones here in the 10th.
Get away from this guard. Justin.
Yep. Can you finish? Yep. Finish.
So now, would you like to win it outright? Sure. But we won't have any extra ends. If the game should be tied, which means Duncan would score the point to tie, then the hammer in the draw to the button would belong to Grandy. And you choose one. I think the key here, Kathy, is you can throw either turn.
Well, I love that. I also love the chooses the thrower. If you have a player that's played all hits, Clancy Grandy, for example, has thrown a ton of hits today. She may want to look down the order if it's her and pick a player that has played a lot of draws. So it gives you the flexibility of turn. It gives you the flexibility of player. It just says you pick what you think is going to win you the game.
Does it change your strategy, though, if you're Duncan, realizing that's there?
Absolutely.
How so?
Well, if you're Duncan, you're one down, you're trying really hard to get 2, because if you only get your single, your odds of winning without hammer and stealing an extra end are in, 15, 20%, depending who you're playing, ice conditions. But if you go to a draw to the button, in theory, your odds are 50-50. So a single would be a bit of a victory here for Duncan, and so they don't have to be as aggressive. Protect your point. Try for 2 somehow later in the end. It really changes things, and teams aren't used to it.
She just didn't throw it the same as the other one. Okay.
Yeah.
And consequently,
You like
Grandy,
another high one?
she just threw her draw to the forefoot way heavy. Maybe she
Yeah, I
stays
think so.
aggressive and
Think
tries to
so.
wrap the game up right now, as opposed to having to draw for all the marbles.
Throw the same. Yeah.
It's a personal preference thing, and all the team members have to talk about it in that in the 10th end break.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go close then.
Let it. Easy, easy, easy.
1.5. Little tighter.
Full lift should help.
No, no, no. Can't be. Can we go?
No, it's in front of it.
Can you make it curl? Curl, 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 curl. Okay.
So here's a situation right here, Vic. There's potential. It's not an easy one actually, but it's a potential double peel. If you
Try
make
it
the
this
double
way.
peel,
How much space?
chances are Grandy hits the open rock, and you're looking at a single. Maybe Duncan's happy with the single, knowing that she has a draw to the button opportunity.
Go into that too, but
You'd never
Right.
double peel
Okay.
if you were trying to score
I
2.
like this way. That might even go there. Okay. Peel.
It really adds a wrinkle strategically. Hit this really thin.
Clean. Clean. Whoa.
Close. Close. Clean.
Close. No, 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 no.
Rachel Strybosch.
Okay.
Further, Kathy, to Russ's point, does it force you then, if you are Duncan, to make that commitment to either 1 or 2? If you're not going to go for the deuce, do you have to make that decision earlier, or can you wait a little longer?
Well, you can wait a little bit. In the other sheet that I'm watching right now with Inglis and Skurlik, it just changed dramatically with a miss. And so while one team may have been playing for the ability to draw, to try to steal, if you will, that way, all of a sudden one shot can make a difference about your approach. So I feel that for Duncan does not have to make a decision right this moment.
Well, you just knows. Okay. Okay. Good weight.
It's 5-4 as Grandy leads it. We check the game story. As Kathy said, it was Grandy's shooting that held her in the game early, or maybe it may have been over by now. And Megan Balsden with the advantage on Kayla McMillan in the battle of thirds. The game story is brought to you by Montana's Barbecue and Bar, Canada's home for barbecue.
Okay. Go then. Yeah, you can go.
I love Duncan's approach here,
Queen's okay.
Vic.
Take a look.
She
Low.
doubled
Yeah,
off the
yeah.
guards, so now that in theory she should score, keep the game going. And we all know why. And now, because there's no danger, she can maybe try to get that deuce by tapping his back or freezing. They're really good. And now it's not simple to remove that yellow.
Get it through the hole, Kayla.
Yep.
There's space here, so.
Okay. With the in turn.
Yep. Do you like the in?
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't want to hit this straight back. It'll carry him onto the second red and stay in play. So you've got to hit this onto the left-hand red. Make contact on it first. So half a rock at the very most here. Not taking much ice.
No, no, curl, curl.
Kayla McMillan.
Curl, 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 curl.
Rochelle Brown. Oh, dear.
Yikes. I really think teams are trying to throw some of those shots too hard, and that was all a line read shot. You could make that with board weight if you hit it in the right spot. Oh.
Didn't add.
Top
Good.
8 foot.
Tess is raw. Easy, easy,
Other
easy.
side of the sheet here.
Yeah, Tess is raw.
Really
Tess is
curls
good.
on this turn in tight.
Okay, line's fine, line's fine. Really running. Wait. Okay, above tee, above tee. You want to take it way back then? Yep. Keep going. Keep going.
Okay, let's see.
14,
Potentially. I think it kind of comes off the bottom of it. What do you think?
Better if I can play the out.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's better with the out turn. So I think we try it, and at least we roll our shooter over.
Yeah.
Like, if we can get it, like, to go off the back and roll over here, we've got a crack on the last one. So I think we play it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you like that?
I do.
The double's available. What they're worried about is this. Now, they're going to go with the out turn. And the nice part about the out turn
We hit it a little bit thicker.
is it
with
drags this yellow one a little more this way than that way.
I just see the angle to having to hit to get the 6 as not losing it with the in.
Okay.
I think it's, it's close.
Yeah, just because like if
I
we're
can
crossing
try.
the face, you've got to hit it thinner.
Not
with
that
the
thin.
in.
Not that thin.
No, but I mean thinner
Yeah,
than the intern.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So the out.
We'll play. No, we'll play the in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Change to the in. The in will give them more rotation on the top rock and get a little more power to make that double.
We'll play the in. Yeah. Make the double.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quick session, and then
If she rolls to shot, say she rolls over top and is a shot, do you like the draw?
Yeah.
Okay. If she rolls to shot.
Well, 6-5 as they play in 10. That Yellowstone was the last rock for Danielle Inglis. Kayla Skurlik has
Roll around that side.
the last rock.
Well, you can see the frustration on Danielle's face. They were hitting to lie 2 earlier, and Kira Brunton, her third, jammed a stone, and that allowed the opportunity to lie 2. So just off nose for Kira.
Yep.
Looking to keep the shooter, will lose the back 2, and she is lying her second point behind the guard.
Nice shot there to get the Reds out. Here we go. Bang, and move it far enough. Oh, yes. Just far enough to pick up the 2 to win it for the reigning Alberta champion, Kayla Skurlik.
Good game.
Nice shot to hang around, get that deuce. A great one on our sheet too, Vic. Across the sheet, double beat perfectly.
Oh my God.
Now, this was a team that started very slow, Skurlik, but just came back in the latter part playing well.
Well, they were down 4-0 after 3. Inglis had scored 3 in the second, stole 1 in 3. First for Holly Duncan.
Okay, well then, not on it. You're close for line though.
Still low risk for Holly here. She can
Whoa,
try to
no,
weld one on
no,
here and somehow
no.
manufacture an error and get you
Okay,
2.
well,
If not, you should have a pretty simple shot for 1.
Still.
Okay. 13-6.
So it's Skurlik against Einarson in the next round, the Elite 8. And Laws is already advanced. Caitlin waiting to see who she will play, either Clancy Grandy or Holly Duncan. Another half of the women's bracket we will see tomorrow afternoon when we join you at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.
I'm not it. Nose is ideal. Sliver high is good. Yeah, just nice 10 here. Well, wait, Lance, wait.
Final stone, Clancy Grandy. 2 events for this team this year so far.
Right to it.
They went 2 and 3 in the Saville
Right to it.
shootout.
Look out.
One of the first events of the year, and she'll lose that shooter. Oh my.
Thought they was going to miss the yellow there for a minute.
Yeah,
They had to
I think
carve that all the way
I
down.
think it's still.
But they're coming off a good event. They made it to the quarterfinal last weekend at the Shorty Jenkins in Cornwall. They went 4-2, this Grandy team, losing to Japan's Sayaka Yoshimura.
Bonus for Team Duncan here. They obviously have to make
that
this,
was like
but
a 97.
you really get a practice draw here now.
Yes.
Going down the same side that both skips were well heavy last end.
Away. Yeah. Does that make sense?
So watching the broom that she's taking, you can almost expect that it will be similar in that same path.
Mm-hmm. Straight of the two turns, speed should be great.
Line's good. Running right now.
Wasn't super positive, I felt like. It's
Yep.
running a bit, though.
Starting to go. Curling a bit.
Time to go.
Take a look.
Guyot and Strybosh with balls in
47.
calling line.
Okay.
And it'll hang on to the back of the 4 for the single. We will go to a draw to the button to see who wins this and advances to the Elite 8 here at the PointsBet Invitational.
The 2023 PointsBet Invitational is brought to you in part by PointsBet, the official sports gaming partner of Curling Canada. By New Holland, proud sponsor of Curling Canada. By Scotty's Facial Tissue, Canada's #1 tissue brand. And by Home Hardware. Here's how.
So we're going to go to an extra end and a 5-5 tie, an extra end draw to the button, as it were.
Yeah, I was like,
So no extra end, no full extra end. So teams can, as Kathy said, you want to pick the lead. Whoever's drawing the best will throw. You can throw either turn, which if, say, a path has not been played, that takes that out of the way. And the team with the hammer does throw last. So in this case, Grandy, in this extra, will have the last rock. So Megan Balsden has the brush down, a similar spot to where she had it just for the last stone of Holly Duncan. That one ended up going back 4. I don't know, did she tighten it up a little bit?
Just a hair, but I think just as you say, that 2 feet
Line's
lighter
good.
will make it curl that,
You can go for
that
line.
extra
Tighter
inch or
line.
2.
Tighter line. Tighter line.
You got to be careful. This is
Gotta go.
tighter early. It could slow down in the center.
Where's the weight? Okay, whoa. Play the weight, play the weight.
Take a look, take a look, take a look.
Intern draw has
Play the weight.
been
Play for T.
92%, and she's thrown 6 of them. This is her 7th. And just to the side of the button tee line.
It's amazing. I don't think she was that much narrow. So just by moving that broom in,
Just
and
that broom movement.
we got into the middle, Kath.
Yeah, just a little softer, I think.
yeah, just,
Like I felt
just
tight
in
on my
relief.
hand,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Great rating, yeah.
Kind of like a good broom head inside edge.
Similar ice taken here, Vic, but Clancy Grandy's got more of an outward motion, a much more positive release.
That's the line.
So run much straighter.
Like that.
That should be plenty,
Yeah,
even
I'll
though
just
it over curled
for you, right on T-line.
for Duncan.
By comparison, just 60% on her 5. Intern
line
draw
good.
so far.
Line's good, guys.
You're on a good line.
Still running okay.
Still running. Starting
Easy,
curl.
easy,
Take a look.
easy.
Line's good. 14-9.
So the edge of the button is where that stone was, remember?
Easy, easy.
Clancy Grandy.
Whoa.
Where you got to stop
whoa.
now. Got to stop. Got to stop. And oh dear. By the 32.7 was the earlier number.
No. Is that 3, 2? Okay.
What was the difference? What was the difference? Okay. Good game. Good game. Good game. Good game.
So 31-3 to 32-7. And the win goes to Grandy.
Well, I hadn't given you a...
Wow. 6-5 is your final. And Holly Duncan will bow out for the second straight year in the Sweet 16. So 5 advances.
For a while, so I was like, oh, I know. Yeah.
So make a note. It's interesting that all the higher seeded teams picked up the wins. 1, 8, 4, and 5. And Grandy now on to play Caitlin Laws. We'll see the second half of the women's draw tomorrow. Tonight, it'll be the men, their first half, when we come back to Oakland. The sweet smile of victory as Clancy Grandy picks up a last draw to the button win. And a reminder, tonight we'll be back with you. Make a note, 7 Eastern time. We'll see the first half of the men's draw. Last year's champion, the $50,000 winner, Reed Carruthers, will go against the reigning junior champion, Jonathan Tao. Our season of champions is underway here in Oakville. Now we'll turn our attention to the men tonight in that first half of their draw, when we join you again, 7 Eastern time, from here in Oakville, and the PointsBet Invitational on Canada's sports leader, TSN.